hours after pleading the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times during a heated Senate hearing, Dr. Anthony Fauci appeared to let his frustration spill over in public. The former White House COVID advisor was spotted Wednesday evening power walking with his wife, Christine Grady, near their reported $2.4 million home in an upscale Washington, D.C. neighborhood. As the couple walked, Fauci, who was wearing a Georgetown University Iron Med 5K t-shirt and fumbling with his phone, was overheard venting about what had happened earlier that day. According to reports, Fauci complained that someone was shouting at me before dropping an F-bomb while continuing the conversation with his wife. The tense exchange came only hours after Fauci spent nearly 4 hours before the Senate Homeland Security Committee, where he repeatedly refused to answer questions related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Instead, the 85-year-old invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times, declining to respond to several questions from Republican senators. The hearing was held after Senator Rand Paul subpoenaed Fauci, accusing him of helping cover up the origins of COVID-19 and misleading the American public during the pandemic. After the hearing ended, Paul announced that his committee would begin contempt of Congress proceedings against Fauci, arguing that he refused to answer even basic questions from lawmakers. Fauci led the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases for 38 years before retiring in December 2022. He left government as the highest-paid federal employee, earning around $481,000 in his final year, and reports estimate that he and his wife have a combined net worth of more than $11 million. The former health official's emotional reaction during his walk has now gone viral, adding yet another chapter to the growing controversy surrounding his appearance before the Senate. And if you thought that was the end of the drama, it wasn't. Here's a closer look at the tense Senate hearing itself, where Fauci repeatedly pleaded the Fifth, sparred with lawmakers, and faced mounting pressure from both sides of the aisle.
And these are important questions the American people deserve to know. Dr. Fauci, have you been read into any classified Department of Homeland Security program, any prospective special access program concerning gain-of-function research?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered. For a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room. In no courtroom in America can you have your witness plead the Fifth Amendment, and then your attorney gets to testify. That's what that letter is. The attorney's complaining and testifying, saying, he didn't do it, the prosecution's unfair. You don't get to do that. That's one thing you give up when you take the Fifth Amendment. You say, I'm not going to testify. I'm not going to give you any information. You don't then get to put your lawyer forward to justify it.
Dr. Fauci has saved lives, as have public health officials in the United States and throughout the world. And today, we are demeaning and degrading their life-saving service. Republicans are eager to rebrand you as a villain in order to distract from their own failure to protect Americans from soaring healthcare costs.
And it is unfortunate that you have been put in the position that you are in today. And it must be enormously frustrating to know that this hearing is designed to entrap you. It must be very frustrating for your attorneys to hear the chair's mischaracterization of the legal issues and posture that impact your decisions at the witness table today.
Did you ever have an opportunity to bring up the potential of measles deaths among children and an infection rate going around the world from measles based on the fact that so many children would not get their measles vaccine because of the shutdown?
I'm sorry, Senator, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
That is your right to do.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color?
Dr. Fauci, I wanted to hear perhaps an apology, perhaps some semblance of being sorry for what happened or that judgment errors were made. We didn't hear any of that. But he was subpoenaed here to testify, refused to answer any questions, even after being directed by the chair and being advised of the law requiring him to do so. He has cited a privilege that is unsupported because of his blanket pardon and because he waived the privilege by testifying at the start. I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law, limited to the period of your pardon. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Because you refuse to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.